Totri, it seems like the generosity, spirit, and everything is in the air right now, and I would just like to put it out there that there are two other Sun Devil adjacent people that would also gladly welcome eight-figure donations.
For sure. Happy Thursday, and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by the foot grabber, Eric Ruby. We've got the freckled mamba behind the Mac, making all of that magic happen. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Rubus, I just want to clarify something that you said in the cold open about how there were two Sun Devil adjacent individuals who would also gladly accept a high 7-figure, potentially 8-figure donation. I will gladly accept a 3 to 4-figure donation as well. I just want to put it out there. The 7-8 figures, it's all nice and well. I'd be comfortable with a 3 to 4-figure donation myself, Rubus.
I'll take a donation. If anybody wants to donate anything, just hit my line, okay? I'm not, as Deion Sanders would say, I'm not hard to find.
Things you love to see. Emily with the Go Devils, Green M&M, talking about baseball renovations on the way. Of course, a lot to get into on today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devil show, starting with the fact that Kenny Dillingham asked for some money. And Kenny Dillingham received some money, or at least the Arizona State football program did. He took to the radio this morning talking about that new state-of-the-art indoor practice facility set to be completed in February of 2028. And we've got some brand spanking new images of what that facility is going to look like. Rubus, $55 million worth of facilities for the Sun Devils. What do you think?
Looks terrible. I hate it. No, that looks so cool. And to be able to see it, because I know this has been a conversation for a long time. We've talked to Graham about it when Graham's been on here. We've talked to Kenny about it when Kenny's been on here. And we've heard like, oh, this new state of the art. And like you imagine it in your head, right? But then when you actually get to see it and you know that it's going to happen, it just makes it feel so much more real, right? And then you start imagining, okay, if I'm a recruit and I'm walking in there, right? ASU already has some nice facilities, but you walk in there, whoa, right? Like if you're already planning on being at ASU and you're like, man, like this is the type of investment they're giving into the football program, like it means a lot to see it, and it means a lot to know it's going to happen because you hear a lot of talk a lot of times, and then it actually happening is another thing.
Yeah, 1,000%. This facility is going to have 78,000 square feet of football practice fields. I know Dilly said there's going to be a 50-yard field and then a full, I think, 100-yard field or 90-yard field somewhere in there. 106,000 square feet total area of fields. And then, of course, 6,200 square feet of lobby, restrooms, storage, and stuff. Because, again, this isn't something that is strictly going to be used just for football practices, right, in football meetings. Kenny Dillingham, again, kind of alluding to the fact this morning that they want this to be a place for game day, that they want fans to be able to tailgate here. They want to have it kind of feel sports bar-ish in a way, which I think, again, is going to only intensify the experience around Arizona State football. It's something that you look across the country, and there are a good number of these facilities. When I was at Notre Dame, they have an indoor practice facility as well for football, kind of similar to this, but it's not something that they used for tailgating, not something that they used on game day. Now, I think a big part of that was it is not directly connected to the stadium. But you look at this state of the art facility, it's going to be smack dab right next to Mountain America Stadium, which I think is going to be a massive part, again, in getting folks to really make game day a full day, as opposed to it just being like, hey, Arizona State kicks off at 7. We'll go out there, park 5:30, go to the game, leave at halftime, call it a day. Right? They want this to be a full blown experience, and I think this is a major step in the right direction.
Yeah, and again, it just kind of shows the synergy between the athletic departments, the fans, and then also the fact that when I believe either when we talked to Graham or Kenny about it, they mentioned other sports and other athletic departments being able to use this type of facility as well. And also, look, if you are a school in Arizona State that in the past has not committed the amount of funds needed to not just keep these state of the art facilities state of the art, but to build new ones and to invest into sports, it might have to be a hey, we can't just get something for football. We can't just spend this type of money only for football, like a Notre Dame might be able to, like an Alabama, like an Ohio State might be able to. There needs to be more of a community aspect with it within the school, within the athletic department, and then outside of it. Although I do think that goes hand in hand with what Kenny and the football program would want anyway. Can we talk a little bit just about the fact that somebody made maybe an 8-figure, high 7-figure donation?
Yeah.
Because I remember when Kenny asked publicly for a big donation, there was a very mixed bag of reactions, including I talked to former ASU athletic director, former Ohio State athletic director Gene Smith on this show. And, you know, he said that he understood why Kenny did such a direct ask, but maybe he would have gone about it a different way, not saying it in like a way that he was disparaging Kenny at all. He actually said it might be more effective. It's just not how he would do it.
Yeah.
I think that Kenny doing that and now being able to back it up with a result is very, very good news for the future of NIL funding and donations for this program.
It is, and Kenny is intelligent in the way that he understands what social media is. He understands the media and what, not just us, but everybody out there, the platforms that are out there, right? He uses the media as a weapon sometimes, or as a way to spread Arizona State's message and the things that he wants and needs. And again, like, the worst thing that could have happened is he asks, people make comments on the internet, and they don't get the donation, right? That's the worst case scenario for like that specific situation. Ultimately, you got to this point in time where you did get a group to donate a significant amount of money to this program to, again, make this possible. Because again, $55 million for this entire practice facility is not something to just like sneeze at here. Like, this is a
No.
good chunk of money that is being invested now into the football program for its long-term success overall. And again, I think you see that they aren't cutting corners here, that they are truly trying to invest in Arizona State football to get that 2024 season to be the norm in Tempe, right? You saw just like how like amped up the city was, really the entire state, to see Arizona State repping, the Valley on a national stage of college football, and to almost achieve things that were thought of as unthinkable, unachievable for this program, to be able to do it in such a short period of time. I think, of course, probably propelled a little bit of this, right? And then again, I think with the current regime that you have in place for Arizona State football, with Kenny Dillingham, Graham Rossini as the athletic director, I think those two working hand in hand, like, ultimately, like, it was a massive, massive part as to why they were able to get this done. It's not something that's super easy to do. Herm Edwards never got anything like this, right? Todd Graham never got anything like this. So to be able to do that, I think, again, speaks volumes.
Well, let's be honest here. In that 2024 season, if they didn't do what they did, I don't think there's any way that we're sitting here talking about this right now. We're
Probably
probably
not.
talking about some sort of renovation, some sort of investment. Things would be better than they were before because I do believe that, the main architect of all of this and Kenny Dillingham and all of his coaches and stuff, would have built a successful season. But like, let's just say that they had a fun 2024 season. They made a bowl game and they won the bowl game, right? And then you had last season where they make a bowl game, they lose a bowl game, but okay, 2 back-to-back bowl seasons, the program's clearly headed in the right direction. There's going to be some investment. There is, and I guess we'll never know, thank God. But there's no way, there's absolutely no way that somebody would pen this type of donation, would put the amount of money that they would put into this. There's no way that Kenny would have gotten the new extension that he got that also included his assistant coaches and the NIL and the roster. There's no way any of that happens if it wasn't for 2024. The importance of that season spans so much farther beyond that 1 year, right? And the players there and having a Big 12 championship trophy. It showed donors, it showed fans, it showed the school, it showed the coaches, it showed the players what Arizona State can accomplish as a football program. And that's without all of the stuff that they're now asking for.
Yeah.
If you are in theory asking about, hey, we'll get a Big 12 championship one day versus, hey, we won a Big 12 championship, those are two completely different conversations to have with potential donors.
For sure. And the Green M&M and a couple folks will bringing up Todd Graham, saying Todd Graham got the stadium renovation. The Green M&M, there's a lot of Coach Todd Graham slander in here. I don't think it's slander by any means. We've had Todd on the show, and it was awesome. We loved having him on. And when I say Todd never got anything like this, I mean more so like the backing by the university, right? Backing and this type of commitment to football. It's something that this program hasn't ever really had is a commitment this large to making Arizona State football the sport, the place to be on a Saturday afternoon in Tempe. Like, there has always been talks of, hey, guess what? There is a million things to do in the Valley, right? Especially on a Saturday night. Are you going to go to Mill? Are you going to go to Old Town Scottsdale? Are you going to go to now upcoming Chandler and Gilbert? Are you going to go watch a Suns game, a Diamondbacks game? Like, it's at this point in time, Saturdays are reserved for the Sun Devils, right? And you get to 2028 where you have this practice facility, people are going from the bars straight to another tailgate environment and then straight into the game. Like, this is, again, something that they are trying to revolutionize the way that you think of Arizona State football on Saturdays. And I think that says a whole hell of a lot, again, about the commitment that the university is making. Again, these donations are huge, right? You wouldn't have this stadium, you wouldn't have this new state-of-the-art facility without it, without those donors coming in and pumping in this type of cash flow into the program. So it's again, for lack of better terms, it's not something that I want this fan base to take for granted, and I don't think they are, and I don't think they will. But, like, how often do we talk about DFA, right? How often do we talk about the facility needs updating, it needs renovations, this, that, and the other sucks about it, right? And it's going to get $100 million of renovations, and it'll be done, several years from now, right? Like, this facility, Kenny Dillingham asked in fall camp. Fall camp, they were talking about this, right? Here we are. Here we are, and spring football hadn't even started again. We got renderings. We got donors investing tens of millions of dollars. Like, we have so much to, I think, thank this program for at this point in time, for continuing to try and get back to 2024, right? Or at least what that benchmark season was. And I think, again, there's a bigger conversation I want to have with you, Eric, just about the state of Arizona State athletics and the facilities in general, because I think this is, again, another glimpse into how Graham Rossini and this Arizona State athletic department are trying to take Arizona State to a place that it has never been. And we're going to have that conversation on the other side of our first break. And there are wants, and sometimes on a really lucky day, you guys can find something smack dab in the middle that is a need and a want. Of course, I'm talking about Mountain America Credit Union's My Style checking account, because of course everybody needs a place to put their money, but you may want a checking account that's got built-in perks and benefits just for you, and that's exactly what that My Style checking account has. It's got restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and guess what, Rubus?
What?
There's more! Because
what?
Of course there's more with Mountain America Credit Union. Make my style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Plus, if you are somebody who supports those Arizona State Sun Devils, well, so does Mountain America Credit Union, because your home of Arizona State football is none other than Mountain America Stadium. Make sure you visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration/activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
If you are doing a home renovation, there's only one place to go. Of course, it's the Window Depot. With 7 locations across Arizona and windows proudly manufactured here locally, the Window Depot is the place to go, whether you're remodeling a kitchen or tackling a multifamily build. If you're a contractor or if you're just trying to do a small DIY project, the Window Depot has you covered. From windows and doors to cabinets and countertops, they stock more so you spend less. No wait times, no gimmicks, just everyday low pricing and ready to go inventory. Plus, you could shop online and pick up in store, browse and order directly at thewindowdepot.com with real-time access to in-stock products at your nearest location. Get what you need when you need it. So the Window Depot, you all know it, is more than a window store. Visit thewindowdepot.com and get started on your next project today. Woo! What a day. People showing up in chat, loving all
Love
the
it.
love in here, including diehard JJB in here. And JJ, who just became a diehard because Arizona State men's basketball beat a top 25 team this season, is wondering, hey, which shirt should I get with my free PHNX shirt? And here's the thing, JJ, if you're deciding between two, boy, do we have good news for you. We also have a merch sale that just went live right now, 30% off site-wide clear out, but that includes brand new villain shirt for the PHNX Suns crew with Dylan Brooks, our brand new Arizona Over Everything collection as well, and then some of those OG classic Sun Devil merchandise as well. So go check out gophnx.com, click on the locker, 30% off site-wide, get your free shirt for being a diehard JJ, and then if you're deciding between another, get 30% off that. What a great deal. What a great time. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. So many Sun Devil supporters helped us get to 50K. We want to keep on adding on to that subscriber base. But Totri, good
Eric,
vibes rolling today, man.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love to see chat on fire today. For those wondering, the facility, to my knowledge, is not expected to be done until February of 2028. So still several years away, but they, again, to my knowledge, want it to be done prior to the start of spring football in 2028. So
That's not
still,
that far away.
no, just 2 spring football sessions away, when you think about it. So it'll be here before you know it. And if you're somebody that's here in the Valley and you are a season ticket holder, I'm sure there's going to be special benefits and perks and all that fun stuff, to being a ticket holder when it comes to this facility, and the access that fans will have come game day. I'm pumped for it. But again, I kind of want to zoom out a second and talk about facilities at Arizona State in general. And I know that initially may sound boring to some people, but like when you look at Arizona State and what they've done in terms of commitment to athletics over the last several seasons, right, or several years in general, there's talk of DFA and those renovations that'll be done. Again, $100+ million that are going to go into like renovating and getting DFA back to a place that is like habitable, right? That's what I would say the benchmark is. You talk about this indoor practice facility that's going to be out there for Arizona State. I don't know if you saw all the renderings to the link that Sun Devil Athletics had posted. Eric, there is also going to be a volleyball facility attached to this facility as well. So volleyball is going to be getting some perks and some benefits here. We know about Mullet Arena, probably the spot for college hockey, at least at the very least on the West Coast, right? So potentially renovations, more renovations coming to Muni or to Club Farrington. Like Arizona State is really doing everything, I think, the right way in terms of getting these spots put like in a place where in college athletics, Arizona State is viewed as one of the top.
Yeah. I don't say this to sound harsh, but they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
This to me, I don't want to say it's bare minimum because it's not. They're clearly doing a lot, and there are
Yeah.
lots of
We're
athletic
talking about
departments.
tens of millions
Right.
of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars.
This is, though, the baseline if you want to be one of the best athletic departments in the country, which I do believe is the goal. And I do believe that if you look at the wide variety of sports that this school has to offer and the success they find in it, there is definitely an argument for them to be up there in the upper echelon already. But in the modern day of college athletics, you need to catch players' eyes. And you could do that by putting a check in front of them, which this school has done a much better job at over the last couple of years for all their sports. But look, at the end of the day, you also got to make them feel like they are an elite athlete. You
Yeah.
don't feel like an elite athlete if you're not going to state of the art facilities, especially when you're touring other schools and they might have nicer, newer, more renovated facilities. Like these are things that if you want to be the best, you have to be acting like it. You have to be investing like it. It's dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Arizona State wants to be the best athletic department in the country. Guess what? You can't do that if you don't have renovated arenas, if you don't have renovated practice facilities, state of the art, coaching and everything that goes along with it is what they have to do. So I don't say that to undermine how big of an investment this is, but this is a necessity. This isn't a
Yeah.
luxury. Like
Yeah.
Arizona State football facility, Totri, this is not something where it's like, oh, this was a nice to have. No, this was a need to have.
If you want
This
to be
was a,
competitive, if you want to be
yeah,
ultra competitive and you want to, again, like take the program to the next level and get the players that you want to get, right? Like you said, you could do a couple of different things to kind of attract some of these elite level players to your program, specifically if we're talking football, right? You could put a check in front of them. You could promise them playing time. You
which
can
does
be a
not happen here.
historic program, right? Or you can potentially do a little bit of everything, but these facilities are real. They're legit. And these are things that other programs do have, right? Other elite level programs in college athletics, again, specifically talking college football, like that are a big part of the experience. They're a big part of those tours, right? When kids are going and visiting Arizona State several years from now, right? Like this is something that the Sun Devils will be able to show off of like, hey, look at what we have. And also something that I don't think that gets specifically referenced to some of these facilities, specifically when we're talking about that indoor practice facility and being attached to Mountain America Stadium. Like, think about how much easier it is now if you're a football player to be like, you know what? I'm gonna stay at the facility. I'm there. They're there early anyways, right? Morning workouts, morning meetings. Then you probably have a practice at the Kajikawa practice fields, assuming we're in like spring ball session, right? Eat more meetings, whatever. It's easy to be there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. But now it's like, well, why don't I get there an extra hour early, go stretch on that brand new practice field, right? Maybe go get some extra recovery. Maybe it's easier to be there an extra couple hours after you're done with everything because, again, you don't have to take a golf cart or walk all the way to the Kajikawa practice fields. And I say all the way, even though it's like a 10-minute walk. But think about things in your life that would be easier if you could eliminate a 10-minute walk, right? To where now it's like, you know what? I'm just going to go get some extra reps in on the practice field. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, offensive line, centers, right? Centers and quarterbacks getting those extra snaps in, special teams players, just being able to go do those little things on the practice facilities. So again, it's one thing to be like, look at this amazing new $55 million project. It will ultimately, at the end of the day, have an impact on players and coaches and the work that they're able to get in on a daily basis.
100%. We also talk about recruiting, specifically local recruiting. Well, guess what? If you're a local kid and you're driving by the facility, or let's say Arizona high school football 7-on-7s, or championship, like they host some sort of events there, or they get to go watch a practice, right? You're going to get better in-state players. When you are acting like an Ohio State, right, with your facilities, when you are acting like an Alabama, when you're acting like a Georgia, when you're acting like a Notre Dame, by having these types of facilities that a high school player walks into, and it's jaw dropping, not just because it's a college facility, but because it's better than all the other college facilities that they've already
Yeah.
visited, right? That's going to help. It's not an empty investment. And I do know that there are some people who are not, I guess, sports oriented people, or who feel like, taking away the space that this is going to take up and all the money it's going to take, can it go to a better place? At the end of the day, this is going to help bring in more profit for the university. Like, I promise you that Michael Crow would not sign off on something that he does not think was for the full on betterment of the entire university.
For sure.
So, as much as this might be a hard pill to swallow, as far as like, wow, that's a lot of money for people who just don't get it. And I'm not blaming them for not getting it, because if you're not involved in the sports world, then that's just a big number for something that doesn't like really change your life. But all of the sports will become better because of all of these renovations that are going to be made. Like women's volleyball, man, that's the best program at the damn school, right?
Yeah,
Like
right now.
there are fans showing up and showing out. Like that can end up being something that might be able to turn a profit for the school if it's not close to doing that already. Because if you said the same thing about hockey 5 years ago, you'd be laughed at
Mhm.
about turning a profit. Now, because of the facilities, because of the coaching, and because of the players, they are making a significant amount of money for the school. And so, it to me, when you see just not the investment in football, but the investment in every other sport as well, that is something that is going to pay benefits for everybody, even outside of the sports world, long term with this school.
Yeah, 1000%. Again, like football is king when it comes to college athletics, right? There are not a lot of sports and athletic programs across the country outside of football that actually bring in revenue and bring in money. This is only going to drive that number up for Arizona State long term, right? And again, when you talk about like the long term legacy of Michael Crow, how much of a sports angle is a part of that legacy? Well, I think again, as he probably nears the end of his, time as the president at Arizona State, which again, I don't think there's a rush on it, but I do think that we are, probably closer to that date than maybe some actually realize. He's going to have a sports legacy. That Big 12 championship season, right? This new state of the art facility. Like these are the Mullet Arena. These types of things are ultimately going to, when 50, 60 years from now, when somebody's reading about Michael Crow in a history book, right? Like these are the types of things that, yeah, it's going to say brand spanking new indoor practice facility, maybe in different language, right? But ultimately, that is part of it. That's part of when you are looking back thinking of, hey, remember in the winter of 2025 when Kenny Dillingham was potentially going to go to Michigan, right? When all these other jobs were coming and knocking on Kenny's door saying, hey, come to Ann Arbor, look at all the things we got. And Kenny was like, nah, I can be successful here, right? And things that he said and the way he worded things to get more support financially. Think about the things that have transpired for Arizona State since Kenny Dillingham first had those comments, right? Amended contract, where, again, more trigger events for him to add years onto his contract. He is now the highest paid state employee in Arizona history, right? He is now somebody that has already gotten undergrad and graduate degree programs for his children paid for. Okay. They're each less than 4 years old, thinking about the future, got more money for his staff, got more overall NIL funding for his players, right? Which ultimately led Arizona State to be able to get some heavy hitters in the portal, right? The Reed Harrises, the Omarion Millers, Cutter Bowleys, Owen Longs, Lyric Rawls, etc. And then you have this. You have millions of dollars now being pumped into a brand spanking new practice facility for this program that also is going to be a place for tailgating in a hub for Arizona State fans. All since those comments about Michigan. So, as much as we hated that point in time, I think everybody owes Michigan a big old thank you. Because if it weren't for that, if it weren't for another school trying to poach Dilly, I don't know how quickly you get the ball rolling on some of these things, if any of them.
Well, and I want you to close your eyes real quick, okay? I
Okay.
want you to I want you to imagine that I'm saying this
Eyes are
statement
closed.
3 years ago.
Okay. 3
Okay.
years ago. Let me go back.
Okay.
My beard is kind of scruffy. 3 years ago, I'm 25. I'm probably hungover. Um, okay. I'm ready. I'm there
Are you ready?
mentally. I'm ready mentally.
Michael Crow deserves an immense amount of credit for his investment in athletics.
Wow. Okay then. Yeah.
That's it. You can open your eyes now.
Yeah, wow. I mean, sorry, it was just I was going back to that place. Oof,
But
rough year
again,
at 25. Yeah, I would not have been able to take you seriously if you said that at that point in time.
he deserves an immense amount of credit. And we have sat here a lot and talked about how he needs to pony up, right? And he needs to understand the importance of what the athletic department is to the university. And to his credit, whether it's something that he's come to that realization on his own or if he was dragged kicking and screaming, at the end of the day, he did it, right?
What an
And
image, huh?
yeah. And I've said this so many times when we've talked about this and people hating on Crow. Michael Crow deserves a whole lot of credit for making your diploma, my diploma, Ayrton's diploma, everybody's diploma from Arizona State University, anybody who graduated, matter probably about 10 times more than it did when he took over. Like academically, Arizona State University as a school is viewed completely differently from the pre-Michael Crow era. He
Yeah.
deserves a lot of credit for what he's done for the university, for what he's done to downtown Phoenix. Downtown Phoenix is completely different after the investment that Arizona State did into the downtown university campus, and then what that has sparked downtown just from like a statewide impact standpoint. Michael Crow is, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up of his ass, one of the most important figures in the history of the state when it comes
Yeah,
to
for sure.
like
For
when it comes
sure.
to academics, when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to everything, right? Like,
Innovation.
right. And we joke about the innovation thing, but like that's serious. Like
I don't
Arizona
know.
State
I've never
University,
joked about innovation.
Arizona State University is respected in a lot of different ways that it was not respected before. And to now add athletics to that list, which is something he always said that he wanted to do, but it never,
We didn't
it
ever
never
really
actually
believe him,
happened.
right?
Right. But now it's happened, and it's happened pretty quickly as well. Right. To retain Kenny Dillingham and to have this long term future and venture into football, but also everything else, the DFA renovations, which we could talk about here, obviously the baseball renovate, like everything. None of this happens unless Michael Crow signs off on it. And Michael Crow hired Graham Rossini. How long did that take? A lot longer than we
A
expected.
long time.
Right. And we were, let's be honest here, we take ourselves back to then too. We were worried. Were we not worried?
Yeah.
Not anything against Graham, but like, why is it taking this long? And is hiring internally after going this long the right choice? It was. Michael Crow has added a sports department to his legacy in Arizona State. And I can't believe that I'm saying that.
You are. Say it one more time.
Michael Crow deserves an immense amount of credit for his investment into athletics.
Yeah. He absolutely does. And Graham Rossini, again, has done a phenomenal job since taking over as the athletic director, right? Some of the hires that he's made and some of the decisions ultimately that he's made, conversations that he's had to have, I'm sure tough conversations as well, right? With some of these coaches, with administrators above him, to really get this done, but not just individually this field, right? Not just that,
Yeah.
but you look at that volleyball facility that's going to be a part. You look at, getting Molly Miller in the door when she could have gone somewhere in the SEC in what this season has been like. Retaining Kenny Dillingham while also not just like putting a nice check in front of Kenny and saying, sure, 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 just sign, right? But also like the little things around the program that were needed and wanted to keep this program where it is and continue to elevate it in the right way. Getting the endowment for Greg Powers in Arizona State hockey, right? To pretty much have that contract paid for. And then again, of course, big decisions looming in the future about men's basketball. But we know about the DFA renovations, right? And the money that's going to be invested there. The Willie Bloomquist extension, potentially getting ahead of it, right? Potentially having that taken care of before Willie and ASU baseball have a big season, right? So Graham Rossini has, I mean, I think there were times over our time at Arizona State where Ray Anderson was sitting on his thumb, doing nothing, right? Absolutely. We were just sitting there like, what is he doing? What is going on? You had the story break before the Territorial Cup game that Todd was going to be fired, right? Regardless, win or loss. Let go next day, right? Brings in Herm Edwards. Oh my God, we know about that whole situation, right? You bring in Natasha Adair. don't really. Yeah, I mean, you're moving in like mud to get out of the Pac-12, right?
Not even
Crow
that, but
and
the
and
TV
Ray
deal.
saying we don't want to go, pretty
Yeah.
much, and then
Or
having
the
to get
TV deal
dragged there
negotiation.
by Arizona. Like, and the one thing I will say that Ray did well, three things actually. He hired Kenny Dillingham. Great job, Ray. Way to, I mean, leave the program better than you found it, I guess, somehow, after all the shit you did. You got Mullet Arena. That was his child. Absolutely loved it. We got one dislike. I imagine that's Ray Anderson, probably watching the show right now. So you did those two things, and then three, you secured yourself a bag in teaching a singular class at Arizona State, which I have been unable to do. Unable to secure that level of bag while teaching multiple classes at Arizona State. So Michael Crow hit my line. We need to have a conversation. But no, in reality, like Graham Rossini deserves some love and his flowers for the things that he's been able to accomplish with this program. And again, such a short period of time.
Yeah. Everything's been going great for Arizona State athletics. The future outlook of this school has completely shifted. And I think fans are really starting to kind of grasp that. And it's going to be a lot easier for them to maybe swallow the tough pill that's going to come with Arizona State men's basketball and what's next, which we could talk about here in a second, right? Or if there are some down years, I think knowing that no matter what the investment's going to be there is going to mean a lot.
1000%. Let's have that conversation about men's basketball on the other side of our final break.
Toe Tree breaking news.
Okay.
It's the day before Friday, which means it's the day before the weekend. And of course, that means there's UFC this weekend, which means Pure Edibles is going to be consumed in La Casa de Anthony Totri. But Pure Edibles can be consumed even outside of UFC fight nights because Pure is a full-fledged candy company offering gummies, kicks, which is their version of Starburst, chews, and hard candies. The best part about Pure, their effects are clearly listed on each tin. They combine CBN, CBG, CBD with marijuana-derived THC to give you the exact experience you're expecting. If you want to be sleepy, well, guess what? On the tin, it says sleepy. You want to be uplifted? On the tin, it says uplifted. Plus, they're easy to rip or bite in half, making it easily shareable if everybody's over the age of 21, or easy to dial in your exact dose. They taste good, they make you feel good, so it's a good time when you're on Pure Edibles. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries across Arizona.
Look, we have a lot of partners here at PHNX that try and help you save money every single day. And Circle K, well, they are one of those partners trying to help you guys save big on the things that you need and want every single day. Of course, a big one being gas. So how is Circle K helping you guys save money? Well, join Inner Circle. It's their free membership program. Again, a free membership program takes like 20 to 30 seconds to enroll. Download the app from the App Store, enter your email and phone number, and that is it. That's all it takes. Next time you pull up to one of Circle K's participating locations, just type your phone number into that gas pump, and you guys are going to save 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Plus, Circle K has these amazing things called Inner Circle Fuel Days, where if you guys are a part of Inner Circle, you guys can sometimes save 40 cents off per gallon. Not to mention, of course, they've got great deals on snacks and drinks as well. Make sure you join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Rubus, a lot of positive discussion today about facilities, about football, about Kenny Dillingham, and again, spring football. A couple weeks away. I know I'm absolutely elated to get to college football season again. And I know we've still got several months before these teams kick off and you start the season. Man, spring football is going to be a whole hell of a lot of fun. So if you're not already subscribed to PHNX Sports, do it now because you're going to have a whole hell of a lot of Arizona State football content when spring football does roll around in March. Also, if you're somebody that is always tuned into the PHNX Sun Devil Show, then you know that we dropped an audio-only episode this morning wherever you get your podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or somewhere else. Maybe you get your podcast from the streets themselves.
Yes.
Well, Rubus and I were talking a little ASU baseball this morning. So definitely go check that out. The Sun Devils and Willie Bloomquist start another 3-game series on Friday. So get yourself caught up with that audio only episode. And Rubus, football, baseball, softball, basketball. Let's go ahead and dive into what Graham Rossini had to say this morning on the radio about Bobby Hurley's future in Tempe. Certainly some interesting comments that I know Arizona State fans maybe didn't want to hear. Maybe some did want to hear him, but when he was asked about the future of Bobby Hurley at Arizona State, he said, quote, "We'll see how the season plays out. I have tons of respect for Bobby. He's been here for 11 years. We're not ready to make a decision either way, and the team is playing harder and harder." Of course, Bobby Hurley in the final year of his contract, year 11, Arizona State, fresh off a massive win over number 13, Texas Tech. Still slim odds of making the NCAA tournament, but not so slim that they are completely dead. Still about 5 games left for the Sun Devils. They're on the road at Baylor this weekend. What'd you make of Graham's comments this morning, Rubus?
I don't understand why there were people surprised by this. He's currently under employment by Arizona State University. He's in the middle of a season. What's Graham going to say?
Yeah.
He's done and I hate him? Like what do you expect, right? Look, all signs point towards this is the last year for Bobby Hurley barring a miracle,
Yeah.
right? The athletic director is not going to go on a radio station and just say that with 5 games left in the season. That's
No.
not how this works. So I don't understand why people are like freaking out about this.
Yeah, that's like what I was going with of like, especially in some of the comments, right? Like I get there is the feeling that it's over, right? That it's done, it's going to be behind us in however many games. Realistically, what does anybody gain from Graham Rossini going on the radio and saying, "Yep, he's got 5 games left, and that's going to be it. He's not going to be back in 2027." Right? Like, it truly blows my mind that people thought that that was what was going to ever come out of Graham's mouth. Like, I think he said everything that he needed to say, like, possible here. I don't know how he could have taken it another direction, right? I think he did the smart thing of leaving the door cracked open a little in case Arizona State were to go on a crazy run, acknowledging that the team has played harder over the last several weeks. Again, coming off a big win against Texas Tech, the first time Arizona State has won back-to-back games against Big 12 opponents since joining the conference, right? A couple seasons ago. So he leaves the door cracked without slamming it shut, right? Like,
What is he supposed to
exactly
do?
what he needed to do.
They just beat number 13 Texas Tech, their biggest win in the Big 12 ever. And he's supposed to go out there and be like, yeah, Bobby Hurley's done.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't
No.
know. I don't know.
That's not how this works, man. No general manager, no athletic director, no president of basketball operate. Like nobody's ever gone out there while a coach is still employed saying that they're fired after the season's done.
Yeah.
That's just not how this goes at all. So
He's still under contract.
well, that's the thing. He's still under contract. Guess what? He doesn't have a contract extension. That's all you need to know. Okay.
Yeah.
They extended Willie Bloomquist. They didn't extend Bobby Hurley. If that doesn't tell you where their mind is at, then I don't know what to say. Like Graham Rossini cannot go out there and sit on a radio station and say Bobby Hurley's fired after the end of the season when there are 5 games left in it.
I'll tell you what, that would have made for a hell of a show today, though.
It would have made for a hell of a show. And honestly, it probably would have made for a hell of an end of the season. But that's just not how things work, man. My opinion hasn't changed at all on what I think will happen. If they win multiple games in the tournament, Bobby can have a 2-year extension. Other than that, I can't see a world where he's back. But maybe he is. But I can't see it, man.
Like I said yesterday, man, if they win the Big 12 tournament, I will crawl on my hands and knees from this studio to DFA till I bleed out of my kneecaps, and I will apologize to Bob if they're able to win the Big 12 tournament, which again would require heroics that we have yet to see from anybody at Arizona State basketball in the history of the program, right? Like, this is a team and a program that never even won the Pac-12 tournament, okay? One of the few teams in the conference that never won that thing in Vegas, right? Now you're telling me Houston, Arizona, BYU, Iowa State, Texas Tech. Sure, you do that, dude. I will kiss the shoes that Bobby Hurley walks in on a daily basis. Like, because it would be ridiculous. It would be the greatest thing ever. And then, yeah, then sure. Like I said yesterday, give him an extension, 2-3 years. Sure, you do that. That's all Arizona State fans need to hold over U of A, right? And we
Yeah.
had Kevin producing the show yesterday where it's like that would be ultimately the end of their world. If Arizona State were able to say, hey, we won a Big 12 championship in football and in men's basketball before U of A did either,
Yeah.
right? Before
That
U
would
of
be
A
so
won
good.
the Big 12 tournament in basketball, in men's basketball. Like, sure, take the extension, dude. Yeah, you're here. At that point in time, build the Bob statue right there. I'm here for it. Put it right outside the football practice facility. Like, I'm down. I'm here for it, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Arizona State, and maybe I'm getting this wrong. I tried to look it up real quick. I couldn't find anything, but I'm pretty sure Arizona State's the only school to have never won the Pac-12 tournament
Yeah,
ever.
I don't know off the top of my head. I know there's them and potentially 2 other schools, potentially, but I think you could be right. You could be right. I
Yeah.
don't want to say it and then be wrong. So I'm just gonna
I'm
say they
fine
are
being
one
wrong.
of. You want
I
to be
don't care if
wrong?
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Rubus the wrong man.
That kind of
Wrong
rips.
man Rubus.
Better than what'd you call me at the beginning of the show today?
The foot grabber.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Well, something fell and you grabbed it with your foot.
That is true. The light that I have over here to my right fell and I
Yeah.
grabbed it with my foot. Very, very impressive athletic feat, if I do say so myself.
Wow.
You know, like when you do
Ayrton, can you
something and
confirm?
nobody's around and you're like, damn, that was actually really impressive. I wish somebody
Uh-huh.
saw that.
How often do you say that about yourself on a daily basis?
Ooh, 4 to 5 times a day.
A day?
Yeah, I'm messing around. No, I'm kidding. No, but like, I don't know, you throw something in a trash can from across the room or like something drops and you catch it like really fast. You're like, oh, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's what they say about Eric Ruby. Sneaky athletic. I mean, just
That's what they say.
written all over you, man, all over you.
What they
Chris
say.
asking, is the Deli Man coming back? The Deli Man is coming back to PHNX for sure. Currently out of town, on assignment. He got a big old promotion. So the Deli Man will still be producing ASU from time to time. But we have a bunch of amazing, amazing people behind the Mac here at PHNX. So we got the Freckled Mamba today, Noah, Kevin, Damon. Got a bunch of really, really talented folks that are going to be stepping in the Deli Man's place from time to time. So get accustomed to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to get some of these guys back behind the Mac, Ayrton being one of them, on a little bit more of a consistent basis, just to see what they have to think about Arizona State sometimes, especially some of those Wildcat guys, the Kevins and the Damons of the office. Put them behind that Mac and make them talk Arizona State athletics, which is just ultimately supreme when we talk about athletic college programs here in the Valley.
It was fun last show. Post Texas Tech. Kevin's just sitting there listening to us talk about them being Texas Tech. It was very nice.
It was very, very nice. Any final thoughts from you, Rubus, on anything today, whether that be the facilities at Arizona State, the Bobby Hurley comments from Graham Rossini, or anything that we have yet to mention today?
I'm just excited. I don't really know what else to say. It's tough because all this stuff isn't going to come to fruition for a couple of years, but when it does, it's going to be a very big landmark moment for this athletic department. And I'll fuck it. I'll say it one more time. I'll say, Michael Crow, you deserve a lot of credit for your investment in athletics.
One more time.
Michael Crow, you deserve a lot of credit for your investment in athletics.
Huge. Absolutely huge. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. If you are an Arizona State fan and you've been joining us here all day, well, we appreciate you. And also want to remind you that there are a couple of sports here in the Valley that are going to be absolutely rocking over the weekend. You've got Sun Devil softball taking on Southern Utah and Michigan over the weekend. And New Mexico State. So definitely get out there to Club Farrington. Check them out. Mentioned it a little bit ago, ASU baseball. They've got a 3-game series against St. John's University that is at Muni. So definitely get out there as well check it out. Go support Sun Devil Athletics. Again, a couple of programs that are starting their season, and they're starting it off in a really, really solid fashion. You also have ASU women's basketball home against Houston Saturday, February 21st. So get out, plenty of Sun Devil athletic teams to go support, programs to go support. And then, of course, Bobby and company, they take on Baylor. They are on the road this weekend. So be on the lookout for all of that. That is going to do it, though, for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devil Show. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast if you want to keep up with all things Arizona State. And you can follow the show at PHNX_Sun Devils. That is on TikTok. That is on Instagram. That is on Twitter. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow the foot grabber there at Eric Ruby. That is Eric with a K. And then you can follow the Freckled Mamba at Freckled Mamba on social. And we will see you guys for a Friday Fun Day on tomorrow. In the meantime, go Devils in peace.
We all silly like the mayor.